For some of us, that call to poverty and discipleship is found in the religious life. Some among the faithful actually enter religious communities of men or women and take promises, vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. We've come to know these past 4 years our dear Franciscan friars from their ministry among us. These are men who have heeded the call of the Lord to follow him through a radical commitment to poverty. In addition to these men, Father Sean Patrick, Father Andrew, and their companions, we, our community, St. Patrick, has had the beautiful privilege of knowing 2 young women who have recently entered religious communities. Sister Juliana Faustina, a sister of life, and Sister Philomena, a sister of charity. Religious life is a legitimate, beautiful, and challenging way to follow Christ. However, my dear brothers and sisters, most of us will not be called to religious communities in vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Yet the call to go deeper, to embrace the cross of Christ, and to follow Christ is for all of us. We cannot dismiss this gospel as irrelevant. It doesn't apply to me. The call is for all of us. What does this look like? For some of us, it may be a call to simpler living. In the United States, we are so blessed to have so much. And I believe often it's too much. Maybe the Lord is looking at us with love, you and I this morning, and inviting us to live a simpler life. So what does that mean, a simpler life? Well, you could ask the questions, for example, maybe these apply or don't apply to your life. Do I really need to buy a new car or rent a new car? How about a used vehicle? Do I really need to buy these clothes that I'm considering buying or about to buy? Do I really have to eat out 3-4 times a week? Do I really need is a great preface to considering making significant purchases. Do I really need this? Do I really need this? Maybe I don't really need the item or items in question. I could use that money I wanted to spend to actually give to the needy, or to support a seminarian in his education, or to support the missionary activity of the church, or to help to adopt a student who wants the Catholic education but whose family is challenged, to provide that opportunity to him or to her. Maybe the challenge to me this week is to actually consider tithing to the church by offering 10% of my earnings to the collection in good faith that the church will use by offering for the promotion of the gospel and the good of souls. The gospel call and the look of love of Jesus this week may be for me in the area of my relationships. So often our relationships are riddled with lust and selfishness. I know we're not monsters, my brothers and sisters, but how often are our relationships in service to others rather than in service to ourselves? If we're honest, a lot of it is usually about us, not so much about others. I was speaking earlier of Pope Paul VI, who authored the encyclical letter Humanae Vitae. As I mentioned, this letter reaffirmed our church's teaching that in marital relations between a husband and a wife, contraception is not natural to marital love. By nature, marital love is open to life. It is procreative. Contraception removes the openness to life from the husband or the wife or both, using sex solely for one's pleasure. And it's not uncommon today in marriages where there's sex but no love. Has not this reality flowed into society where lust and not love is the norm? Maybe the gospel call this week is for married couples who are contracepting to sincerely look at natural family planning and its beautiful way of maintaining the self-mastery of periodic abstinence and marital lovemaking unites the couple more. Natural family planning also eliminates the abortifacient reality of many contraceptives that do not permit conception, that permit conception, thus the beginning of human life, but do not allow the newly conceived human being to implant in the woman's womb. Thus, the reality of abortifacient. Conception, no implantation, that human life is not allowed to live. Stop artificial contraception. It's radical. You might be thinking, what is he talking about? Yes, it is radical. Is it difficult? Yes, it's difficult. Yet, Jesus looks at our married couples with love as he issues to them a call to a deeper commitment in their discipleship. Maybe the call, my brothers and sisters, is to our young people this morning to stop being social media fakes and to seek being their true selves. So often through social media, youth promote themselves as the complete package. However, they are far from it. In fact, so many of our youth experience depressive tendencies and signs, yet we would never know that from the images and the posts they present on social media. Those of you who are into your selfies and posting things, to get that perfect selfie, that perfect picture, how long does it take you? How many attempts does it take you before you're ready to actually put that up and say, that's the one? When it's so far from reality, presents the youth as everything's all together, where behind that mask is a life often that is depressed, lonely, and maybe, in many cases, confused. Young people, you're good enough as you are. That message needs to ring out today from the gospel. The call is now for you. Not that you have to get everything in order and then come and follow Jesus. No, the call to follow Jesus is now. And maybe the Lord is calling you, our dear young people, to a deeper relationship with himself, so that finally you can find your true selves and your true worth. How? Well, may I suggest that you seek out older Catholics who are living authentic, faithful, and holy lives and ask them, how do you do it? Wisdom comes with years and many mistakes, and we need to seek out our older Catholics who have made their mistakes and are seeking to live authentic, faithful Catholic lives. How can I shed this false sense of self or this confused sense of self and live freely in Christ? As the scriptures say, everything is possible with Christ. The core of our Christian commitment, my friends, is the cross of Jesus. We're asked to embrace it. We're asked to go deeper today in our relationship with Christ. And so beautifully, that empathic gaze, that look of love. The Lord looks upon us with love. And he says to everyone here this morning in this church, follow me. How willing am I to trust Jesus and to follow him? Please stand as we profess our faith together. I believe in one God,
cả money right
born of the Father,
age and life to God
begotten, not made, unsubstantial, crucified,
the Son,
who with the Father and the Son is adored and glorified, who has spoken through the prophets. I believe in one holy Catholic
Church,
I confess one baptism for the sins of